Dad Time, written by Ben Beckel. Exterior hospital day. A sunny day. Singing birds are cut short by a pained scream. Super title, Dad Time.
You're doing great, honey.
You're damn right. I'm a pro at this thanks to you.
Interior delivery room one day. Lily, 30s, on the delivery bed in labor. Jim, 30s, by her side, casually trying to pull his hand from her firm grasp.
Thanks to me. You're the one who made all those pros and cons lists.
And you're the one with the sperm. What do you think you're doing?
She notices him trying to wriggle his hand away.
My hand just needs a little break, and I might too.
Oh, little Lily realizes his intentions, gives him a hard, pissed look. Jim tries to smile sweetly at her. And we're back in the delivery room 2 day. Next door, Claire, early 20s, is also in labor. She's much more nervous and overwhelmed. So is Ian, early 20s, who pretends not to be, coddling her.
You're doing awesome. You have no idea how truly amazing you really are.
Ian.
And you look as beautiful as ever.
What? No, I don't.
Now push! Push!
The obstetrician shakes his head.
Don't push.
Oh, don't. Yeah, don't push. Just like that.
Ian.
Intercut room 1. Lily is now grasping Jim's hand as hard as she can.
I just want a little break.
Wow, same here. Hey, Doc, can we shove this thing back up a bit? Close me up for half hour or so? I kind of want a break.
Intercut room 2. Ian now sits even closer to Claire.
This baby is going to be good at football when he grows up because you're just so strong, baby.
Jesus, Ian, can you give me some space?
You can have as much space as you want. This is your day.
Give me some more time. Sorry, give me some more then.
Ian looks a little abashed. Room 1. Claire is gripping Jim's hand with both hands, not giving up.
Only a few minutes. I'm worn out, you know?
Yeah? You're tired. You're the one who's tired. I have an 8-pound parasite trying to call out of me.
Oh, come on. You've done this like a million times.
Nope, he shouldn't have said that. She gives him a dirty look. Room 2. Claire's temper continues to rise.
I appreciate the support, sweetie, but you need to let me focus.
Like, leave the room?
Yes, like, leave the room.
Room 1. You need to stay with me.
Please.
Room 2.
You need to give me more space.
But
Room.
I need to get out.
Room 2.
you want me to get out?
Interior waiting room day. Jim and Ian exit their rooms at the same time. Jim is exhausted but relieved. Ian shuts the door slowly, quietly. They exchange polite smiles and find chairs about 10 feet from each other. Jim falls into his, exhales with relief. Ian sits nervously. Jim grabs a "So You're Having a Baby" pamphlet from a nearby table while Ian looks around. He sees Jim reading, awkwardly tries to initiate conversation.
That's a good pamphlet. I read it.
Jim drops it back onto the table.
What?
It's a pamphlet. 3 paragraphs about how to raise an incompetent miniature human and make sure it doesn't die from one of the 1,000 possible scenarios.
Ian thinks, then nods to the delivery rooms.
This isn't your first time?
Jim just laughs. Ian smiles.
You?
Yeah.
Jim notices his unsureness.
You think you're ready?
I've read a bunch of books and stuff.
Pamphlets.
Ian's confidence drops as they laugh a little.
How many do you have?
This will be numero siete.
So that's...
All under the age of 12.
Where are they?
Sarah, Bryce, and Dante are at Grandma's. Emma and Ellie are at a friend's house, and our 2-year-old with a sitter. And I've been here for 11 hours.
Sounds like you could use a drink.
They both laugh, but then quiet and look at each other. Was that a joke? Interior dining area registers day. Jim and Ian first in line. An impatient cashier waits for them to speak. Jim and Ian talk quietly to each other.
I think you should ask.
Don't think I'm an alcoholic. You're young and innocent.
Ian smiles at the cashier, who doesn't return one.
Excuse me, what are your beverages?
We have coffee, juice, and milk.
Cool. Do you have anything more adult themed?
Like alcohol? Ian looks to Jim, who nods.
Yes.
Sir, this is a hospital.
So that's a no.
We have coffee, juice, and milk. Interior dining area tables day. Boom! A carton of milk hits the table. Jim sips a coffee. Ian drinks his milk from a straw.
Better luck next time.
Yeah, probably better my first drink not be while my girlfriend comes around.
You've never had a drink?
I turned 21 last month. Didn't think it would be good to go all out with Claire being all preggo.
Smart man. Too bad, though.
What do you mean?
I mean, you've never had a drink, not even in college or anything?
Ian shakes his head. Jim looks around the room, sees a stressed-out doctor staring into his shitty mac and cheese.
Check it out. See that doctor over there? Stressful job. Long hours. I guarantee that guy has a stash somewhere. Two cool dudes like us, babies on the way. I bet he might help us out.
You think? Do we have time?
It's been like 15 minutes. Labor takes frickin' forever.
And I do need something to calm down a bit.
Come on. I'll take lead on this one.
All right. Yes.
All right. Let's do it.
At the doctor's table, half hard-ass, half goofball, the middle-aged doctor prods his food. Jim and Ian sit across from him. Ian lets Jim talk.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Slowly, let me tell you.
I know, right? I bet you're tired.
Oh, man, exhausted. Simply exhausted.
Same here. We're super worn out. We're both having a baby.
Congratulations. Surrogate?
What? No, I mean separately. We've both been at it for a while.
The doctor takes a bite, chews and nods. Jim tries harder.
You don't happen to have anything stashed away somewhere that could, wake us up a bit?
The doctor thinks, swallows, looks up from his food. I know just what you two need. Jim and Ian each other. By the trash cans, the doctor unceremoniously dumps his food and briskly leaves the area, Jim and Ian in tow. An aide holding a clipboard tries to stop the doctor.
Dr. West, we need you on floor 3.
I'm currently preoccupied. He brushes past the aide, who turns to call out after him.
You have patience.
Apparently you don't. Jim and Ian trash their cups, look at each other to make sure they're both cool with following. Jim shrugs. Why not? Interior sketchy hallway day. The doctor leads them through the empty, dimly lit hallway. Good call on this, you two. I'm going to need some myself to get through today. Ian notices an ancient poster recommending the polio vaccine.
Does anyone come down here ever?
No, sirree. This wing hasn't been in use for years. Perfect place for what we're looking for, which is just around this corner. Ian gulps, looks over to Jim, who gives him a calming but unsure hand gesture. They turn the final corner. Here we are. The doctor smiles. They all look. It's a vending machine full of soda and energy drinks.
That's it?
The doctor puts in some quarters. Hells yeah. They took out all the soda machines everywhere else. Too unhealthy, I guess. And these are only 50 cents. Jim's pissed. Ian looks disappointed.
We were looking for some booze.
The doctor pulls out an energy drink, liquid defib. Alcohol? Sir, this is a hospital. Interior bathroom day. Clang. An energy drink can lands on the top of a urinal. Ian unzips and starts peeing. Jim is already going in the next urinal next to him. They both have an energy drink.
Well, we should probably head back.
Come on, man.
They're probably wondering.
No, I mean, give me a buffer urinal at least.
I already started.
Jim grumbles. An awkward pause. Ian looks over to Jim.
So we should go back?
Come on, man.
Jim finishes, grabs his can, walks to the sink and starts washing his hands.
We can't give up now. We have 2 strikes. A strikeout takes 3.
Where are we going to find alcohol?
At a bar?
Outside the hospital?
No, the bar inside the hospital. Come on, we'll have 1 drink.
They say that a lot in movies, but then they usually don't.
God, that is awful. You coming or not?
One sec, guys. We lost Scriptchick. Ian thinks, takes a big swig of energy drink, chokes, gags a little, then tosses his can and follows. Interior minivan day. They climb in. Ian buckles up, then looks behind them into the back of the van. His jaw drops. Jim pulls out his phone. As he tries to communicate with it, we slowly back up, revealing the messy van interior.
Hey, phone buddy, find me a bar.
Hey, human buddy. Not sure what you said there. Would you mind repeating what you said?
Toys, trash, tablets. Ian is overwhelmed, but keeps looking.
Find a car. I mean bar. Find a bar.
Hey, human buddy. Not sure what you said.
Stupid frickin'.
He types something into his phone instead. More of the van is revealed, making Ian uncomfortable. Clothes, candy, clutter.
Do you have your seatbelt on?
He glances over to see Ian buckled in.
Sorry. Dad reflexes.
He taps on his phone, which opens a GPS, sets it on the dash.
Hey, human buddy. Your destination is 4.2 miles away. Cool.
Christ, this thing never shuts up.
Jim takes off the parking brake. Ian is still looking around at all the stuff in the van. Is this his future?
You ready?
Not at all.
Jim looks over in surprise at the sudden outburst.
Look at all this stuff. My girlfriend, I don't even have a car seat, let alone a van.
Oh,
We weren't even trying to have a baby.
well, you don't need a van.
I'm basically broke. I'm still in school. How are we supposed to afford, diapers, and little shoes, and breast milk?
Breast milk actually comes from...
You know why I wanted to get drinks with you? I was hoping you could give me some wise fatherly advice. Tell me that having a kid is actually not that hard and you wouldn't give it up for the world. But now I really do need a drink.
He huffs, crosses his arm like a child. Jim thinks.
We should go back.
No, let's go. I need a drink.
Ian, I wanted a drink just to chill out. Have some dad time. Having a kid is hard. I'm about to have 7. Am I ready? I have no idea.
Well, that's a relief.
But listen, are you listening?
I'm listening.
I wouldn't give up being a dad for the world.
You're just saying that.
I'm not.
He's not. Ian ponders.
Come on. Let's go.
He unbuckles, then reaches over to help Ian do the same, but Ian's got it.
I got it.
Sorry.
Interior waiting room day. They stand in front of their doors, being stubborn about going in. Jim reaches for the handle, then pulls away.
I hope she's not still pissed.
Same. Oh, maybe we should accidentally, go into each other's rooms and make sure they calm down a bit and that the coast is clear.
I like your thinking.
They switch doors, silently count 1, 2, 3 to each other and go in.
Who the hell are you?
This isn't your room, dude.
Why are you still here? Leave.
Ian, there's someone in here. Ian!
Jim and Ian hastily exit the room. Guilty looks.
We should grab a beer sometime.
Yeah, let's do that.
They pass each other and go into their correct rooms.
What's going on? Are you all right?
Hey, I'm here now. How are you?
The end.
The end. Okay, so we had a few technical difficulties during that one. Apologies for that. Electric Dreamer, if you can go and push to talk, I'll give you $20.
Yeah, I didn't know how to do it during the thing.
Okay.
Sorry, and yeah, people were doing things.
It's okay. I'll tell you right now.
Where is it in the settings?
Yeah, in the bottom left corner, you see user settings, a little cogwheel. Click on that.
Yeah.
And then go to voice. And then
okay.
Okay, and under input mode, click on push to talk. And you're going to need to set the key that you use to activate your mic. I use the command key on my Mac keyboard. And you just type that into where it says shortcut. And then that'll be the button that you press to activate your mic. Let me know if you got it.
And then next after that, you're gonna want to go into PayPal and spend $50 at least to Little Punny Fufu. All right. Let me know when you look at
Side hustle.
Electric Dreamer, were you able to do that? You want to test your mic? You have to put a key in. If it's not the command button, you could do like the space bar or control button or home, but you have to type that into the field that says shortcut, which tells it which button you use to activate push to talk. While we're waiting for him to do that, let's start with our feedback. Okay, he's left. Erica, I don't know if you probably want me to skip you because you had your internet down, so you didn't hear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, can you hear me all the time or just not hear me now?
I think I'm just hearing you when you press your button now, so we should be good.
Okay, so you can hear me now and you didn't hear me 5 seconds ago.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, but I think I'm narrating the next one, right? So I should switch it back, at least for now, and then I'll go and switch it after wreckage.
That sounds good. All right, so we're just going to get started on our feedback section. Erica, am I right that you would like me to skip
No, it didn't do the settings.
Brett, can you hear me? I don't.
Yeah,
think
I
Brett
can hear
hears
you.
me. Okay, Brett, we're just doing feedback. Okay.
Okay, I'm still on voice activity. The push to talk thing didn't take.
That's okay because you're narrating next, so we'll figure it out after that one.
Okay.
Okay, so we're skipping Erica. We're going to go to Gracie. Gracie, what were your thoughts on the script?
I actually really enjoyed it. It was a nice, like, light-hearted tale about two similar situations, but with a different spin on it. One with a new couple who are very young and are having their first child, and another one who's having this, and they've gone through the motions already. And it was a nice little story about two parallels between being a new family and having a child for the 7th time, and how even though you may be more experienced and different and stuff like that, it can still be tough, and that a drink is needed when children and pregnancy is involved. But yeah, I had fun reading it.
Awesome. Thanks, Gracie. Jukebox, what were your thoughts on the script?
First off, I wanted to say thank you to scrolling to Ben. Thank you, Ben, for letting us read your script. It was a wonderful script. I also want to say that it was great to see these two juxtapositions of fathers, and I thought that the dialogue between the two was very natural and realistic, and just kind of like classic bro time, or I guess dad time. And I like that it got kind of like realistic at the end, to where Ian finally snaps and he's like, "This isn't what I want. I don't know if I want this," and it was really good. So yeah, great job.
Cool. Thanks, Jukebox. Let's see. Moving on now to script check. What were your thoughts on the script?
Hey, thanks for sharing, Ben. I think my favorite part was actually the opening. I really liked seeing kind of this juxtaposition of these two men dealing with women who, you know, one was clearly like wanting him there, and I think maybe you could go even further with that, where the other woman actually wants him to leave the room. She was, I mean, that's kind of what she was saying, but she wasn't being hard with it. She was just like, give me a little space. But I think that would be really cool just to see how opposite they are, because then later we see just like exactly that. We see how opposite their situations are, which I think was really cool. I liked these two dads, or soon to be dad for one of them, coming together. I think that's the best part of the short, is that dialogue, which was said already. I think, I guess one thing, I don't know, it's like, because also I got cut out during this part, is that when they're getting into the car, it just seems that then you're widen the scope a lot on your short. And I'm just wondering if that's necessary, since it is a short, because now it almost seemed to me to go into like a movie territory, where they're like doing all these things just to get alcohol, leave for the bar, the doctor, and I really liked kind of just the small moments the most between them. But thank you for sharing. Great job, Ben.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Script Chick. And I think Erica had just one thing she wanted to say about the script. Erica, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for letting us read it. I know I missed like the majority of my lines. I apologize, but the parts that I was able to finally follow through on, so I could be incorrect, and the one thing that confused me is towards the end on page 13, when Ian and Jim are talking back and forth, and Jim says, "I'm about to have 7." It almost made me believe that his wife was literally about to have 7 children. I thought she was going to have the 7th. So I don't know if that's just if that was a typo, but the way I read it was like, oh my God, she's really about to give birth to 7 kids. So that's just how I read it. I don't know if anyone else read it that way, but I was just thrown by that. Like, oh wow, she's about to have 7 children at one time, and he went to have a drink. That's weird. If not, then maybe just kind of, I guess, rewording it to say, you know, I'm about to have my 7th instead of saying I'm about to have 7. But otherwise, you know, great script. I loved it. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Erica. I think that might be because you missed part of the beginning when it cut out and he explained that he had 6 kids already. Did you miss that part?
No, I know that, but
Okay.
him saying I'm about to have 7 to me makes it sound like she is literally right now gonna
Right.
give birth
Just the
to
wording.
7 children.
Gotcha.
I know that she has 6, and that's why I'm saying if he just changed it to say I'm about to have my 7th, then
Yeah.
that clarifies that he's got 6, and this will be his 7th baby.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. And finally, Brett, you may unmute yourself now and tell me, what were your thoughts on the script?
I thought the dialogue worked pretty well. You know, the guys, you know, kind of had a back and forth thing. So, you know, though I thought it would have been maybe better if there'd also been a little give and take along the way, where there was a point where Jim there was maybe the one who was a little nervous, you know, a little more seesaw in that, instead of it always being one-sided. But other than that, I thought it was fun.
Sweet. Okay. Thanks, Brett. So let's see. What do we have next here? One second. Wreckage. Okay. So next we're doing Wreckage. You guys ready for this? All right. Take it away, Brett.
Okay. Interior, airplane cabin, day. The plane has crashed. The only portion left is the twisted wreckage of the passenger cabin. All at once, the fragment shifts and screams as metal bends. The water at the bottom climbs up. Only 2 survivors remain. Angie, a woman approaching middle age and dressed in a flight attendant's uniform. She's unharmed but struggling to stay afloat as the wreckage sinks. Kevin, so young he's barely an adult, fights to keep his head above the water. Kevin has been impaled through the hand and thigh by a length of steel piping. Blood pours from both wounds. When he squirms, a huge slab of broken concrete settles in harder over his other leg. Angie looks up out of the hole in the wreckage. A spotlight from above passes over her face. The steady chopping of a helicopter can be heard faintly. The spotlight passes over the hole in the cabin. A garbled message can be heard from overhead on a loudspeaker. Angie tries to catch what is being said.
Down here! Down here! There are 2 down here!
No response, just the spotlight and the sound of the helicopter.
Help! Help us!
Still nothing. Kevin tries to shift, but can only hurt himself further. The water has climbed higher, submerging him below the waist. When he pulls against the bar through his hand, he cries out and stops. Kevin looks at himself and goes pale.
They don't know we're here.
Are you dry?
They're coming back. They have to.
Are you dry? Tell me.
I'm not fucking dry. I'm on a plane that crashed into a river.
Kevin winces and holds his breath. Still can't move.
Are you wet?
Angie doesn't hear. She's still looking up towards the hole. The starry night sky is barely visible.
We need a flashlight. We need to signal them. Do you have a flashlight?
Forget the flashlight. Are you wet?
Angie attempts to reach one of the scattered carry-on bags. They hang from the seats like large Christmas ornaments.
Damn it. It's in the cockpit.
Are you wet?
Finds a steady spot next to Kevin. She thinks aloud once more.
If I climb up a little further, maybe I can...
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Shut up right now!
The boom of his voice drowns out the choppers. Angie looks at him with her full attention.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I yelled.
No. No, it's okay. I deserved it.
Kevin winces again. Angie looks down and sees his injuries. She's not sure what to say.
Are you okay?
I'm all right for now. Are you wet? Did you go in the water?
Angie checks herself. She's cold, shivering, and slightly in shock, but no water damage.
I'm dry. I'm okay.
Kevin just nods. He's trying not to look at his skewered hand. Once again, Angie gets a good look at it. She's not interested in looking too closely either.
We're sinking.
They're coming back. They're coming back and they'll help us. Just try not to make your hand any worse than it is.
Kevin laughs. A harsh bark in their floating tune.
As long as you're dry. Stay dry as long as possible.
All right, I'll stay dry. You need to keep breathing and stay calm.
I also need a hot cup of coffee.
Peanuts?
Kevin smiles.
And a blanket.
I can do that. I can also offer a single serving of your favorite liqueur for just $5 extra.
I should have flown first class.
Now Angie smiles a bit.
Good thing you didn't. Today, at least.
You don't think they survived?
Oh, God.
Hey. Sorry. That was a bad taste on my part.
No, I was definitely about to laugh. It's just... I don't know.
It's a thin line between cognitive dissonance and dancing on the graves of the dead. All I can do to cope is be glad you lived. It's a defense mechanism.
Angie doesn't respond. She shakes her head woozily.
What are you coming up with all that?
Kevin shakes his head. The steel bar shifts and sends pain through his arm. He hisses.
Oh, God damn it.
Angie goes to help him, but he waves her off.
I'm not anything.
Even with words like cognitive dissonance and such?
I have a 10th grade education, not even a GED.
The wreckage shifts again and the water climbs. Kevin's legs are both submerged in the water. He's starting to react badly to the cold. His shivering is loud.
They're coming back. They're going to get us. Just relax.
I know.
Kevin looks at Angela. The ledge she's sitting on is just barely at the water level.
This whole thing is sinking. Until they come back, you have to stay dry. In a few minutes, you'll have to move.
The last words are cut with agony. The concrete pushes down harder on Kevin's injured legs.
You're going to have to sit on me. or part of me, it'll keep you dry.
The rescue team will be here before then. Just try and relax.
Kevin looks down at her. He smirks.
You almost called me sir, didn't you?
Angie doesn't say anything. A small smile escapes.
Old habits, I guess.
Are you going to say bye-bye?
Angie tenses.
No, I hate that whole joke.
Good. Me too.
You didn't answer my question.
Kevin is silent. Angie looks at him.
Sorry, I thought I said what?
His teeth chatter as he speaks. The murky water is slowly pulling him down. His lips are going blue.
I asked if you were a student and you said you only had a GED.
Kevin is slow to respond.
Talk to me.
She looks at him. Kevin takes a moment but realizes she needs him and he could use a distraction.
Kevin. Nice to meet you, Angie.
Angie frowns, wondering how he knew her name. Then she looks down at her name tag.
Nice to meet you too, Kevin.
His teeth chatter. He swallows hard.
Angie, I'm not getting out.
Yes, you are. The helicopter knows we're here, and they'll be here any second.
Knock it off.
Knock what off?
The shitty polite thing. The one that they make you take in Stewardess University. It's just insulting and condescending.
My dad said a thing about that.
What?
If someone is being condescending to you, it's because you deserve it.
Kevin chuckles. He knows she's not wrong.
Sorry.
She shakes her head, rubs her eyes. She's trying to keep herself together.
Does it hurt?
It did, but now it's just numb.
Can you breathe?
Yeah. My lungs feel like they're falling asleep.
Almost too much for her to bear.
You have to breathe, Kevin.
I'm trying. Your area there is going to flood real soon.
She puts her hand down. She can feel cold water.
Okay, it's flooding.
Yeah, climb over here.
His shivering makes his speech difficult to understand.
I can't sit on you.
Yes, you can, and you will.
You need to stay calm and make sure you can be dislodged from all of that. I'll be okay over here.
Kevin swallows hard, tightens his eyes against the pain.
They can't get me out of here. You know that. You need to sit on me to keep dry. You know that, too.
Wait, no, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I'm going to weigh you down. We'll both be in the water. That doesn't help.
The wreckage shifts again. The concrete presses down on Kevin's leg and he howls. This time his voice is weak and coarse. More water surrounds Angie and she fidgets helplessly.
Why aren't they here? Why aren't they here yet? We need help.
You need to climb to me. It's the only way.
Angie takes a breath. She's living a nightmare.
Please, I don't want to die without doing one last good deed.
She doesn't like the word die, but she pulls herself together. Kevin clenches his eyes shut and she puts her weight on him, trying to avoid his legs or his mangled hand.
Anything?
He shakes his head. His breathing is getting slower.
Not too bad now. Had to catch my breath.
The spotlight peeks through the wreckage. Angie tries to signal them with her flashlight. No way to tell if they've been seen.
Hello? We're down here.
She shifts on top of Kevin and grinds his leg underneath. He inhales sharply. His fingers curl against the steel bar. He sticks his face under the water and screams. Angie catches herself and shifts most of her weight off of Kevin. His teeth chatter.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm starting to go numb anyway.
Angie chokes up. Her chin shakes. He picks up on her despair, clears his throat with a cough.
I have one last thing I need to tell you.
What?
The reason I never finished high school?
What is it?
I got suspended for having a bag of weed in my shoe. And when I refused to apologize, my dad got so mad at me that he threw his chair through the plate glass window of our kitchen.
His voice is steady and not shivering nearly as much.
My dad wrote me off and decided I was a fuck-up. I took that as a challenge. I got into drinking and drugs and haven't seen my parents in 5 years. They probably assumed I was dead by now.
Kevin squirms. The water covers his wounded hand. The cold does it good and numbs him further.
I was arrested last year.
He's interrupted by another groan as the metal sinks further. Kevin's head and arm are barely above the water. Angie is still dry, and when she has to shift, it pains Kevin. He seethes and exhales heavily.
I was arrested last year.
Angie listens. She holds herself together as the wreckage settles again.
You were arrested last year?
Yeah. They arrested me for supporting my habit. I know my parents found out. They were ashamed of me.
Did you talk to them?
No, I couldn't do it. I want you to go find my parents and tell them about this. Tell them I died doing something decent.
I will.
I want them to know I was sorry. Sorry for all the bad shit.
I'll tell them, I promise.
The wreckage sinks again. Angie is starting to go into the water. Kevin pulls himself up, moving his hand higher on the bar. He grits his teeth and tenses every muscle he has left.
Tell them I'm sorry.
The spotlight returns. It holds steady and shines on Angie's upturned face.
You tell them yourself. They're back. They're going to get us out.
She looks up into the light again, waves her arms. From above, the loudspeaker works, but the words are muffled. Angie watches and takes her weight off of Kevin.
Just wait. Wait just a second longer.
More noise from above. A black harness snakes down through the floating wreckage. Angie takes it and begins to put it on. She looks back down at Kevin. His face has sunk into the water. All that remains is his impaled hand, pale and blue.
Kevin!
The cabin shifts one last time. As it groans, it begins to sink rapidly. Angie has no choice but to put her weight into the harness. It begins to rise, taking her up. One final look down, nothing but murky green water. Outside the airplane cabin at night, searchlights flare and the spectators on the riverbank cheer. Angie is raised out of the sinking plane. She holds onto the support cable with everything she has left. On the riverbank, Angie is lowered to the ground, and the strength goes out of her legs all at once. On her knees, she begins to cry. She wipes her eyes and tries to stand up. A fireman approaches her. His manner is gentle.
Can you walk? Can you walk if you hold my arm?
Angie doesn't say anything. Slowly, she pulls herself to an upright position. The clicking and beeping of the cameras are the only noise. Without help, Angie stands up, wipes her eyes, and walks with the fireman to the ambulance. A medic approaches carefully.
Are you breathing okay? Any pain?
Angie raises her arm, a haphazard bandage wrapped around her forearm, stained with blood. She goes to say something, but can just shake her head.
Just your arm?
Angie nods. They place a blanket over her shoulders, and she doesn't resist.
Cold?
Angie shrugs. She leans forward and takes a long, unsteady breath. The rescue crew gathered by her as a human shield. The gathered media still call out with questions for her. The fireman frowns paternally.
How did you stay dry? No hypothermia?
Angie shakes her head.
I had help. I had a lot of help.
And fade to black on that very uplifting tale.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks, V1, for submitting your script. I hope that you are watching, but if not, we are recording the video, so you can watch it later. So let's start with Erica. What were your thoughts on the script?
Thanks for, I want to say thank you to the writer for letting us read this. And I think the only thing that I could see was it was a bit on the repetitive side, with the dialogue going back and forth. And I don't know if that was for length's sake or not, but I felt that a lot of you know, constantly asking, "Are you wet?" and her almost ignoring him, and then it just seemed like there was very little that they were saying back and forth, and the only time they actually said something of substance was probably when he told the story about why he never finished school and being arrested. But at the same time, it felt like a bit of a forced um topic to put in there, almost because it kind of wanted to be a little bit longer, so you needed to find some reason or some storyline to throw in there. And I think um maybe it would have served better if Angie had something more to say than, you know, stay calm and stay relaxed, stay calm and stay relaxed. And it was very little of her dialogue saying anything more than being very repetitive. And then, you know, he was repetitive in the beginning with "Are you wet? Are you wet?" And then, you know, his, you know, story about school, which just seemed like an odd place to put it, or even an odd story to discuss. I mean, I know you're near death, so you probably think of that one moment in your life with, you know, things went south, but it just seemed a bit odd to me. But, you know, it was a really compelling, you know, story about the wreckage and everything like that. So that was pretty cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Erica. Brett, you may unmute yourself now. What were your thoughts on the script?
Okay. Okay, so now the push to talk is working. Okay. I would have liked that there would have been a little something more connective between the two of them, instead of, like, you know, like the other stuff that had been kind of brought up. It was just kind of, you know, random parts of his life. It would have been kind of nice if they'd actually had some little kind of back and forth between them earlier in this, you know, in this story that we don't get to see on the plane, that they could have talked about, and we could have maybe had a moment with them. And I think it would bring another layer to the dialogue, and another layer to the emotion that the author's going for at the end. And other than that, I think it's a nice emotional take on that ending of Titanic that so many boyfriends had to sit through.
Awesome. Thanks, Brett. Gracie, I know you only had one line in there, which you totally nailed, but did you have any thoughts on the script?
Well, first of all, thank you to the writer, V1, for writing the script. It was very nice. And also thank you to Ben Beckle for the last one. I've got to say thank you. And also thank you, Smish. Yes, I did kill it, didn't I? I would say that the script was actually, it kept me on a bit of an emotional roller coaster there. Like, isn't he kind of sad? And and I almost like felt the weight that Angie had, being the only survivor. And I think Brett makes a good comparison with the Titanic, with I can't even remember her name, Rose surviving at the end. I think what I will say is that I kind of wish I had a bit more of a connection with the characters. Like, at the beginning, it was a little bit repetitive, and I didn't really get to know anything about them as characters, just that they were stuck in a relationship or connection between the characters either. But but other than that, I think it was pretty well written. I just wish there was a bit character that we could relate to the characters more.
Copy that. Thanks, Gracie. And just so you know, we have a little bit of a bad connection to you, so if you want to just leave and come back, sometimes that fixes it. Moving on now to Jukebox. What were your thoughts on the script?
Thank you, first and foremost, for letting us read your wonderful script. It was definitely a different tone from the first script, which I liked. But again, I mean, I guess it'll be repetitive for me to say the repetitiveness kind of got to me. And I actually didn't really understand why he was asking whether she was wet or dry. I assume it's because the river or lake they were in was cold, and that would have made it harder for them to see and all that stuff. But yeah, I would also like to see more stuff with the characters, just so you get to know a little bit more about them, I guess, before the circumstances. But other than that, I definitely enjoyed reading it, and the dialogue that they did have, other than the wet and dry thing, seemed to make a lot of sense in the moment, and it felt very realistic, and that was great.
Cool. Yeah, the wet and dry thing bugged me too, not just because it was repetitive, but I thought, couldn't he see if she was wet? Like, usually you can see if people's clothes are wet. You don't have to, like, scream at them to tell you if they're wet. But yeah. Okay, moving on now to...
Also,
oh, yeah, go ahead. Yes?
To go off I totally forgot about this, but for the thing, I would think that he would be able to see, but if he was like a little woozy or something, I think if you wrote in the script that like he's the position he's in, he can't move and he can't like turn around, and maybe she's behind him, something like that, where it's like very obvious that he can't, like, she's not in his vision. He's only within earshot of her. That way, we as an audience is like, okay, so he has no idea, where she is or whatever, but he's in earshot type of thing.
Oh, yeah. That would have made more sense. And also, I don't know if you guys were clear on like what part of his body she was supposed to be sitting on. I was kind of confused by that. I thought it could be a bit more descriptive. Did anyone get like where she was actually sitting?
Yeah, in terms of visualization, I did a bit difficult to know where she was positioned on the plane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jukebox says she sat on his face. Well, I'm sure that was enjoyable. Okay.
That's really why he was pale.
Moving on now to script check.
Well, I didn't have trouble visualizing that.
Are you wet? Sit on my face.
It's good to be specific, guys. Okay, script check. Whose boyfriend made a cameo as Medic. Great job, Script Chick's man. What were your thoughts on the script?
Yeah. Thank you for letting him join in. And thank you to V1 for submitting this. I think a lot of my notes have been said. The "Are you wet?" It almost veers into, I think porn. But it just almost like, I feel like because he's saying that, he would say why, to warn her. It's like you could get hypothermia or blah, 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 blah. So it was a little bit odd to me that he was saying that so much without explaining why in this survival situation. And he did later, but it opened that way. I really liked the banter between Angie and Kevin on page 4. It was that little dark humor that I really appreciated about, like, the Peanuts and the First Class people, rest in peace. So I really liked that moment. And I liked how you led it right with it, where it's already been wrecked, and the people went by, the lights and stuff. So I thought that was a really good intro into the short. I think it got a little lengthy for me around page 10, but I like that he was divulging that stuff. What else? Oh, and then I just really appreciated how, I think it was the way it was written, like Angie's POV is, so basically we're kind of away from Kevin, and the way you wrote it, it's like, then we're back and oh shit, Kevin's under the water. And it's just kind of that, I can see that playing out where because we're not focusing on Kevin, we're wondering what happens. And so then when she finally looks back, we're seeing it for the first time too. So I thought that was just a really cool reveal. Someone else said something I agreed with. Maybe Smish, you said this in the comments. Yeah, the I had help, I had a lot of help. I don't know. I think there's something better there, but I can't tell you what. I don't know if it's, maybe what bugs me is the fact the focus is on Angie, when Kevin was kind of the one who had the arc for me, or at least the one I remember the most about him, like wanting to apologize to his family. So I don't know. I don't know if that could come into play without being corny, but I just feel like there needs to be that really big emotional ending that I'm not feeling as much. but I do like how she's rescued and that she has a handsome medic saver. So thank you for letting us read it.
Yeah, very handsome medic, very handsome. Cool. So we're going to move on now to our next script, which is Night by the one and only Matt Brothers. We have read a few shorts from him before. He's not with us right now, unfortunately, but he will be watching later. And Jukebox will be making his narrator debut with us. Jukebox, are you ready?
I am.
All right, take it away.
Night, a short film written by the Matt Brothers. Over Black. Over Black. Oh, nope. Didn't register at all. Got it. Hold on. Oh, you did? Oh, he's muted. Copy that.
Hello.
Night. Night, a short film written by Matt Brothers. Over Black. Over Black.
Right, I did that, and then the next time I go to press that button to speak again, it doesn't work for some reason, and I don't know why.
Oh, I had that problem. It's because the browser thingy, yeah?
I don't know what that means. I'm using the software, and now it's working perfectly. I've been able to press the space bar 3 times in a row to talk. So now it just started working. I'm sorry, guys. This is really confusing.
Night, a short film written by Matt Brothers. Over Black.
I knew where I was before I even opened my eyes.
Outside the forest campfire, day. The flames of a dying campfire finally flicker out, sending the last plume of smoke up into the morning light. Sat on a log, propping himself up with a large sword, is the knight, classically medieval. His silver armor has seen better days, but he strikes a fearsome, brave figure. With his helmet on, but the visor lifted right up, he appears to be sitting in deep thought. Slowly, he opens his eyes. Without moving, he sighs deeply, stares into the dull embers of the fire.
This is hell.
Outside the forest, day. The knight makes his way through the trees, stepping over shrubs and plowing ahead with confidence of someone who has traversed this terrain many times.
My home was raided by an unspeakable evil, one whom I unknowingly unleashed upon the land.
He glances over his shoulder, hand hovering near his sheathed sword, the faintest flicker of fear.
My family, taken.
He suppresses his alarm, presses on.
I pursue those that would do them harm. This is my quest, my life.
Treading down a slight incline, he reaches a stream. He kneels down and scoops up some water, takes a couple of deep gulps, then a noise. Something catches his attention up ahead. He leaps to his feet, draws his sword.
They won't stop me this time.
Pulls down his visor. Cut to series of shots and sounds. A leaf on a tree branch backlit by the sun. Sounds of distant battle are heard, carried by the wind. A deer makes its way through the thicket, heavy breathing, steel clashing. The bright blue sky overhead dotted with clouds. Pained grunts and war cries. the splash of blood upon stone. Outside Forest Ditch, day. The knight pulls his sword out from the unseen, defeated foe that it is lodged through. He sheathes it, and he staggers forward, injured and caked in blood. He lifts his visor and grins darkly, wiping some blood from his nose with the back of his hand. He appears to be twitching uncontrollably, with a very noticeable rhythm, like he's having a mini seizure every other second.
I'm getting careless.
He collapses over black.
It always starts the same.
Outside Forest campfire, day. The knight is sat in front of the dying fire, same pose as before, hunched over the log, leaning on the hilt of his sword.
I've lost count of how many times I've come back.
He gets to his feet, but this time he visibly hesitates. He glances back into the unnatural dark forest behind him.
Save us!
He whips around, looks ahead. Nothing there.
There is no going back.
Outside, hilltop, day. Emerging from the tree line, the knight approaches a steep precipice with a ravine down below. He flips his visor and shields his eyes from the setting sun, taking in the magnificent sight.
This is new. I must be careful not to.
He slips and drops out of sight. We stay watching this picturesque sunset, listening to the sounds of the night tumbling and crashing to the bottom of the hill. Outside Forest campfire, day. The knight paces back and forth, his composure slipping. He's more agitated, helpless.
I must be dreaming. This is nothing but a living nightmare. I am being punished for my sins, my failures.
He draws his sword and runs off into the trees. Cut to the knight leaping back up from his seated position on the log, full of rage and impatience.
How long have I fought against this black magic? A week, a year, a lifetime, 2?
He drops back down onto the log and crosses his arms, stubbornly.
Enough.
Sitting there in a growing silence, he can't help but seem torn about what to do. As he grows more anxious, suddenly, a young girl's distant scream pierces the tranquility. Instantly racked with guilt, he leaps up and starts running. Outside, Forest Day, the knight passes trees left and right, running as fast as he can in his armor. He pauses to listen to the wind. Sure enough, he hears sounds growing closer. He turns to look back the way he came as we hear enemies approaching, clattering shields, dozens of footsteps and occasional battle cries. They aren't far away. Outside Forest Stream, day. Leaping across the small stream, the knight presses on, sounds of pursuit growing louder. Outside Old Ruins, day. The knight pushes himself hard, out of breath, the sound of hell behind him. Suddenly, thwack! An arrow appears embedded in his side, piercing the armor. He cries out and drops to his knee. Holding his wound, he sidesteps behind an old section of the castle wall, long since turned to ruin. A somewhat hidden clearing. He stumbles along the wall, trailing blood across its stones.
So be it. Fear of death is for those whom it lasts.
He drops his head, but his eyes light up as he spots something half hidden beneath some fallen branches. A treasure chest. He clambers over to it and lifts it up with ease. Inside, he finds some cooked chicken breast and apples. Staring at this strange combination, he wolfs them down. Outside Forest, day. Bursting out of the ruins with a renewed sense of adventure, the knight is positively radiating.
I'm getting close. I can feel it.
He flinches suddenly. Pivoting, he reveals that he now has another arrow piercing his head. He frowns as he drops to the ground, dead. Inside Old Ruins, day. The knight wakes once more, sat in the same pose as before, hunched over his sword, staring towards the ground. Except now he's back in the ruins, not the forest campfire. He slowly gazes around in utmost surprise as it dawns on him. He leaps up, ecstatic.
The gods reward my courage.
Cut to series of shots. The knight repeatedly wakes up at this new location. Again and again and again. Each time he's more frustrated, angered, on the edge, until he's eventually more depressed, lethargic, defeated. Outside Forest Day, just on the edge of the ruins, the knight sits solemnly beneath a tree, his back resting against the trunk, helmet off and on the ground beside him. He sees a world away, casually ripping out tufts of grass without a care in the world. A broken man.
It is an impossible quest. I am nothing but the plaything of a twisted soul. Even my foes have abandoned the chase.
Almost without warning, he breaks down entirely, covering his freshly tear-streaked face with his arms. It's a bizarre sight, a fully armored knight crying like a child. Slowly, we become aware of another pair of arms beginning to drape themselves around his neck from behind, as Mary, 30s, tenderly embraces the knight. He doesn't seem to notice, almost as if she isn't there, but her presence is clearly felt. As she whispers gently into his ear, he begins to look more resolute. He stands up, fists clenched, shoulders back. He grabs his helmet and slams it on, pulls the visor down.
One more time.
Cut 2. Outside Forest Day. The knight charges through the new forest areas, his heavy footfalls echoing through the trees. The sound of approaching foes begin to grow louder once again. The knight nods to himself, draws his sword. Outside Courtyard Day. Staggering into the ancient courtyard, the knight is out of breath and looking on the verge of death. His armor is cracked and sections have broken off. He painfully glances down at his sword. It's broken in two. He hurls the hilt to the ground, struggling not to weep.
No, please. I'm so...
A blinding bright light suddenly envelops the area. He shields his eyes from the blast, and as it dies down, he spots something new on the ground in front of him. Another treasure chest. He hurriedly kicks it open and pulls out the Sword of Legend, a brand new, powerful-looking blade with an ornate handle. Looking down at himself, he finds he has been magically healed. Armor back in place, not a dent to be seen. As he admires the craftsmanship of his new sword, a shadow falls upon him. He looks up and keeps looking up. A monstrous growl of a huge beast shakes the very ground he stands upon. Raising his weapon, he readies himself for battle.
For Mary.
Letting out a guttural roar of his own, he charges forward to meet his fate. Cut 2. Inside girl's bedroom. Day. Sounds of a classic 8-bit style video game play over images of the room. An unmade bed with a colorful duvet. Old faded stickers adorning a small lamp. Photographs of a young girl and her friends covering a section of the wall. Stacks of books and pens scattered across a wooden desk. The girl, 11, is lying on her front, watching an off-screen TV with great interest. Sat beside her, her older sister, 16, hands her back an NES controller.
There, that gets you the Sword of Legend. If you can't beat the game with that, then I don't even know you, okay?
It's not cheating, though, is it?
It's a literal cheat code, so yes it is. But you've been dying all day, so you need the extra push. Good luck, loser.
The girl swats her sister away as she concentrates, tongue sticking out as the game gets intense. She makes exaggerated movements with the controller as she clearly pulls off some tricky moves. As the girl evidently defeats the boss, she rolls onto her back in joy, cheering and flailing her legs around in victory.
Girls, dinner's on!
The sisters jump up, shoving each other for dominance in the race out of the room and downstairs. As they bound off, we hold on to the now empty room as the game's music reaches a victorious crescendo. Cut 2. The black TV screen as text forms in the middle. With the enchantress defeated, the gallant knight is finally reunited with his family. Safe at last. Together once again. You win. Game over. Cut to black. The end.
Yay, that's the end. Thank you so much, Matt Brothers, for another great short film script. Let's start with our feedback now. Erica, what were your thoughts on the script?
Pretty cool. I enjoyed the twist at the end that we were actually like in a video game. I didn't see that one coming. Even with knowing what my lines were, I actually had to scroll ahead to be like, hey, why am I even in here? Where do I come in? So that was really, really cool. I really liked this. I can only imagine like how this would look visually to make even the person watching not realize that this is, you know, a video game and not real. So I thought it was really cool. I liked, you know, the dialogue. I felt maybe, and maybe others might agree, that there might have been too much prose and not enough dialogue. But when you realize what it is, it's kind of hard not to do that. So, you know, I didn't mind it much. It was actually pretty interesting prose as well. So, you know, and thank you so much for sharing this. It's really cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Erica. Yeah, just to clarify, Matt Brothers is one person. I call him the Matt Brothers because he's like famous here. We've done 3 of his short films now, and it's just fun to say the Matt Brothers. Okay. Yeah. Okay, moving on now to Brett, our MVP today, for his awesome sound. Brett, what were your thoughts on the script?
I thought that I would have liked to have had a little more of relevance to some of the voiceover. A lot of the time when I was talking, I didn't really feel like I was saying very much, and then, you know, we get the twist at the end, which I guess kind of explains it, but didn't like fill me with joy. I guess I was just looking for a little more depth out of the voiceover that I was given. But I thought the atmosphere and the prose was really great. And thanks to Matt for sharing the script.
Great. Thanks, Brett. Gracie, what were your thoughts?
Well, first of all, can you guys hear me? Am I breaking up? In which case, first of all, I'm sorry. Thank you, Matt Brothers, for the script. I will say that and I feel bad for saying this, but I kind of kept losing track of the script because my mind kept wandering. I did like the all along, and I thought, oh, that was quite cute, but it wasn't quite enough for me to be like, oh, that was worth sticking around for. But overall, it was quite a nice story, and I did enjoy myself. So yeah, there's that.
Sweet. Thanks, Gracie. Jukebox, what were your thoughts?
I enjoyed the script a lot. I also kind of read through it a little bit beforehand because I was the narrator, so I kind of knew the twist at the end, but I liked it in spite of all of that, mainly because I am a gamer of sorts, and I kind of saw how everything was playing out as I was reading the narration. So I guess I'm a little biased with my feedback, but I enjoyed the visuals that that you wrote into the script. Also, speaking of writing, thank you for letting us read this wonderful script. And I don't know. I felt like for me, I felt like it was more a visual thing than it was really about the night. But I appreciate that you did give him lines and made him into an actual character, and he had an inner monologue. And I figured because it was a game, that's why it was a voiceover rather than him literally speaking. And I'm also interested, I forgot who said it, but I'm also interested in how this would look visually, because I think it would be a very interesting production, whether it's live action or animated. I think either one could work. So yeah, great job.
Awesome. Thanks, Jukebox. And I should mention, Matt told me that since he submitted this script, he does have a producer interested in it, and I think they're in the process of about to raise the money for it. So hopefully it's something we get to see soon, and we can see how they executed it visually. And last but not least, script check. What were your thoughts?
Matt Brothers doesn't have a brother, just one person. Yeah.
Two brothers.
Thanks, Matt Singular, for submitting a short. I think I agree with a lot of what's been said. I thought you had a good intro for your tone and setting. I don't know who you would cast actor-wise, but I can see that like gravelly tone, like this is hell, you know, like very kind of almost, I got a little Sin City vibe, I guess, because of all the voiceovers, like a noir fantasy. But I thought it was cool. I think it goes on a little too long for what it is, especially for, you know, since it's all just a reversal kind of trick at the end. So I think you are milking it a bit too much, especially because we really don't see too much when we're in the fantasy world. I mean, I like the arrow reveal. I thought that was great, where like that's how the guy dies, the flinching and all that. But you know, we see the knight preparing, and then we cut to, and there wasn't really, what was he preparing for? Like we really didn't see. And then at the very end, you say the enchantress, and I never saw an enchantress throughout the whole thing, so I didn't know like that was the goal, other than something, you know, about getting his family back, you know. So I guess kind of like by being so vague with what he was fighting and the villains, it left me kind of confused. And so then you have at the end like, oh, it's just a game, so it explains a lot. But again, like just to get to that that kind of trick, I think you're taking too long for that, just personally. But thanks, great job. I really like kind of this noirish night you got going on there, Matt. Thanks.
Nice. Thanks, Script Chick. Okay, cool. So let's just take a quick 5-minute break, and we will be right back. The next script up is Son Dad. All right, and take 5. And I'm going to put some music on for you guys. Alrighty, we are back from our quick break. So our next table read script is called Son Dad. Let me just return to the readers. Hey guys, I'm back.
Hey.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh shit, what up?
What? Yo. So I heard several people have roommates in the showers right now, so we might be hearing some lovely background noises, but that's okay. That's kind of how today's going. So I'm over it.
Oh, I'm in another room. So
You're in another room now. It was Gracie has a roommate in the shower, right?
Yeah, but it's like 5 meters away from my room.
Okay. We should be at 8 then. Cool. I think Erica is narrating this one, right, Erica?
I am, and I am no longer on push to talk
Okay.
to do said narration.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
How do I sound? Am I
You sound really
coming
good.
across well?
Doesn't she sound good,
Okay.
guys?
Like smooth chocolate.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's
yeah.
about to like narrate an hour of the smooth jazz.
I was just about to ask you guys, are
Yeah.
you wet?
Oh, shit.
Sit on my
I'm lit as
Face if you
tits,
want
guys.
to live.
I love that. Sit on my face if you want to live. That is too funny. Okay, well, it's okay. This is for adults anyway, so we can say that stuff. Erica,
Disclaimer.
go ahead when you're ready.
Son Dad, written by Robert Dang. Inside an electronics store, the father, Khalil Fawwan, 36, stares in mesmeration, off-screen, unblinkingly. A rectangular light reflects off his pupil. The boy, Jabril Fawwan, 7, looks at his father curiously, then towards the large supersonic television.
This is it. I have always dreamt to own a new television.
It's on sale?
Only today.
Khalil and Jabril face one another and smile. Inside the Cash Electronics store, the sales assistant, 26, breathless, places the large TV box on the counter.
Lucky you, sir. Last one. I'll ring you in.
Khalil pats his jean pockets, his face stricken with fright.
Oh no.
He pats his shirt pockets and then the jean back pockets.
Where is it?
A customer walks in.
Hey, do you have the supersonic in stock?
I'll be right with you, sir.
Sales assistant gives Khalil an impatient look. Jabril steps up to Khalil and holds up the wallet.
You dropped it near the televisions, Papa.
Khalil sighs in relief. He takes the money from the wallet.
Sorry about that.
There you go.
Khalil smiles. He pats Jabril on the head. Jabril smiles in return.
Sorry, we just sold our last one, but I can recommend.
The sales assistant turns around to face the customer.
Sorry, we just sold our last one, but I can recommend.
Khalil and Jabril exit with the television. Inside the 2007 Toyota Corolla, in the rear seats, the television box sits next to Jabril. He shuffles through his collection of hockey cards. Khalil hums an upbeat melody and taps the steering wheel.
Daddy,
Yes?
this is your dream? To buy a TV?
Yes, it is, son. Ever since I was a small boy, like you.
Really?
Listen, don't ever give up on your dreams, no matter what.
I have a dream.
Never ever give up on
I want to play hockey.
Khalil chuckles.
hockey.
That's my dream.
You will, son. One day.
Can you put me in hockey school?
Not now.
How come everybody at school gets to play but not me?
Hockey is very expensive. You'll just have to wait later when we save some money.
That's my dream now. I want to play it now.
We don't have the money now.
Can you make more money?
No,
Can you borrow from mom?
no.
How come you have no money?
That's it. You have to wait.
But that's my dream.
No more talking.
Khalil looks through the rearview mirror at Jabril. Jabril's arms folded in, his head turned to the window. Inside the living room at night, Khalil, lying down on the floor mattress, powers off the new television with the remote. The room goes dark. Huda Farwan, his wife, 29, quietly steps in and lies next to him. She takes the comforter and covers Khalil and herself. Khalil, in thought, stares at the ceiling.
You could return the TV.
I won't be able to find a TV at that price again.
Return it and buy a smaller TV.
I told all the guys already. How would I look having a smaller...
We were talking about your son.
Bedroom door opens.
Here comes the headache.
Jabril stands by the door. Khalil quietly rolls over to face the wall opposite of Jabril.
I can't sleep, Mommy.
Come here. Sleep in the middle.
I don't want to sleep beside Daddy.
Oh, are you sure?
Jabril nods his head and lowers himself onto the mattress.
Is Daddy awake?
Daddy, are you awake?
Khalil doesn't respond.
He's asleep. How come?
I had a dream I was a hockey player. I was playing hockey with Mitchell, Jerome, and we kept scoring goals.
Khalil slides the comforter over his ear. His eyes remain open as he continues to hear his son's quiet chatter.
It's my dream to play hockey. Can I play hockey, please?
We can't afford it.
Please, Mommy, please.
Huda pulls the comforter over Jabril's shoulder.
We'll figure something out.
The echo of please rings repetitiously in Khalil's ear. Inside the kitchen, day, Khalil turns the knob of a mini oven. No light. He's frustrated. He presses buttons at random. No results.
Who broke the oven?
Khalil pulls the pita from the oven. Huda walks in. Huda plugs it in and puts a pita in the oven.
Who unplugged it?
I had to unplug it for the fryer.
Khalil opens the fridge.
Where's the spreads? Are we already out of spreads?
Huda nudges Khalil out of the way. She looks at him. Khalil's right eye has a visible red vein.
You didn't get any sleep. Something bothering you?
Jabril walks past the kitchen with his school bag on.
Bye, Mom.
Bye. Love you.
Love you.
Door closes, Khalil in shock.
He didn't say bye to me.
Huda shrugs her shoulder and looks in the fridge. Khalil, motionless, transfixed on the oven.
I didn't sleep all night because of him, and he leaves without...
The oven's timer pings, breaking him out of his spell.
I'm returning the TV.
He grabs the pita from the oven and takes a large bite from it. Khalil steps out. Huda watches him in disbelief as she has the spreads ready on the table. Inside the electronics store, Khalil stands at the counter with Jabril by his side.
How can I help you, sir?
Khalil acknowledges the TV.
I'm returning this.
Anything wrong with it?
No, just I'm going to need some money to put this monkey in hockey.
Jabril smiles.
Sorry, sir. I can only do exchanges or give you an in-store credit.
You don't understand? I'm going to need a return, and then me and my son are going to the sports store.
I totally get it. However, it was on clearance, and we can only do in-store credit or exchanges.
That's bullshit.
Other employees peer in. Khalil, embarrassed, picks up the TV box and steps out.
Jabril, let's go.
Jabril stands confused.
Let's go!
Jabril ambles to Khalil.
Sir?
The assistant beckons Khalil back. He leans in.
I'll buy it for half the cost.
Khalil looks at him with disgust, then walks out. Outside the electronics store, Khalil is about to step into the parking lot.
Daddy, am I still going to be playing hockey?
No.
His son drops his head. Khalil squats by Jabril.
Stop crying. Hey.
Khalil shakes Jabril.
Stop it now. You're a big boy. Just stop crying.
Jabril tries bitterly to stop his sob. Khalil pulls him in and hugs him.
I promise you will. You will play. You just have to wait.
Jabril continues to sob.
It's my dream. You said.
Khalil faces Jabril.
All right, this is your dream. I'll do whatever to make it happen.
Khalil picks up the TV box and grabs Jabril's hand. They return to the store. Inside the living room, Khalil, in his work uniform, enters with his lunch bag. The television stand is empty. He turns the corner into the dining room. In the dining room, a new but small TV box on the dining table. He places his lunch bag down and chuckles.
You're kidding me, right?
You don't like it?
Huda enters with a wash towel in her hand.
You're joking. Well, what am I going to watch on this? Insect sports?
The game is tonight. You'll have something to watch it on.
Khalil shakes his head in disapproval.
I'm going to watch the game at a restaurant. I'll return the TV. We could probably trade it for a hockey puck.
He smirks. Huda steps out. Khalil picks up the box.
Don't forget to pick up Jabril first.
Khalil grunts in approval as he steps out. Inside the 2007 Toyota Corolla, Jabril, with his hockey jersey and hair drenched with sweat, jumps in the passenger seat, giddy as he buckles his belt.
2 goals, huh? How many years you been playing?
2 weeks.
You're a natural.
Are we watching the game tonight?
We'll watch it at the restaurant.
I bought the TV so we could watch it.
You mean your mom bought it?
No, I sold my hockey cards, and then we went to buy it.
Even the rare ones? You said you were going to keep them forever.
I want to help you with your dream.
Khalil wipes a tear from his eye. They exchange a smile. In the living room, Khalil, Huda, and Jabril stare at the TV. The small TV plays a recorded hockey match of Jabril's game. Jabril scores. Khalil and Huda applaud. Jabril blushes with a grin. Back to the television, this time Jabril, 27, scores a goal in a live professional hockey game. Khalil, 56, and Huda, 49, cheer as they watch the game on their big screen TV. The end.
Yay!
Yay, cool. All right. Thank you, Robert Dang, for submitting your script. Well, now I feel bad the other guys didn't get an air horn. Like, that's just not fair. Cool. So, great job narrating, Erica. I know that when you're narrating, sometimes it's hard to really absorb what you're saying. But did you have any thoughts on the script? You want to? No, you don't. Okay. Moving on now to Brett. What were your thoughts on the script?
I think I'm, kind of a jerk, and so's my kid. I kind of liked, they kind of deserve each other. I kind of see, with that kind of comes into it, especially with the wonderful vocal performance that we got. It was just, it seemed to be a bit of a snark fest, which was fun for us, but I'm not so sure if that was the intent of the story. But I did like how sweet it was in the end. But it really started out, maybe we could just make it a little more likable at the start because they were kind of a little nasty.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Moving on to Gracie, what were your thoughts?
First of all, thank you to Robert Dang. No, more like Dang. That was a good script. And I mean, yes, it was a good script. I did enjoy it. I thought it was really sweet. I agree with Brett. They're both jerks, like Jesus, like father, like son. But other than that, I thought it was like a really sweet script that, he went back to Return TV to try and help his son with his dream, and then his son sold his cards to get TV for him. Just made me blush. Though, how much can you sell hockey cards for that you can buy a TV? That I would really like to know.
They were some extremely fucking rare hockey cards.
I mean, I've got some shiny Pokemon cards. So I'm very grateful.
They're probably worth at least 3 TVs.
Oh shit.
Holographic.
Yeah, I thought the reaction was like not big enough when he found out that his son sold his hockey cards to buy him a TV, and he just immediately said, even the rare ones? Like, I don't know. I just thought that was a little bit fast for me, but moving on now to Jukebox. What are your thoughts?
I liked it, and thank you for letting us read your script. I would just echo the same thing as people have said before about the characters and the lightheartedness. I think it is a little understandable for Jabril because he's very young and doesn't really know any better. So it makes sense for him, but I feel like it would maybe be better if the father could deal with it accordingly, maybe. Other than that, great script. And it did have a good progression. Yeah, and I enjoyed the ending. Good job.
Sweet. And Script Chick, what were your thoughts?
Hey, thanks for sharing. I agree too that Khalil and his kid, I don't know, it was sometimes they were really annoying to me. And the fact that the kid ended up having to pretty much step up to the plate, I don't know, it didn't ring as well with me, the ending. Just a small note, I thought Khalil saying, "I'm returning the TV," like, I don't think you need that line just because the next scene is him returning the TV. So it's just a little bit on the nose. Yeah, I mean, it's a struggle, between the two kids. I mean, or two people. You've set up the conflict and stuff. I just wish I liked the characters more than I did. But thank you for sharing.
Fair enough. Make those characters more likable, Robert. And finally, we're going to go to Erica. What would you like to say?
Thank you for the opportunity to read this. I think I tried to look at it from a culturally different standpoint because I instantly got almost a bit of a culture shock when I read the name. So I realized whatever I was about to be hearing would, I assume, be a bit different. I mean, there's the scene where we realize that they're all sleeping in the same bed on a mattress that's on the floor in the same room. So you get the sense of, a lack of fun. So you understand where they don't have that. And so while I understand the annoyance of the little boy and then the shock of the way the father is reacting to his son, the only thing that I felt was a bit off-putting, and I don't know how it was supposed to be taken, was the moment when he brought the TV back and the sales associate, I guess, thinking that they were doing him a favor, was going to offer to buy the TV back at half the clearance price. I was just, that whole scene right there just felt a little odd, because he was insulted that the offer was even made, and it was just a very weird altercation. And I'm not sure if that would really happen, if that was supposed to be a good Samaritan moment, because even I felt insulted. Like, really, you're going to offer to buy it, but you're going to offer to give me, I could barely afford the clearance, but you're going to give me half of that. So I don't know what the point of that was, if that was really necessary. I think just the scene of, they can't return it, they could only exchange it or get a store credit was enough. I think adding that seemed a bit too much for me. But otherwise, I really liked the story as a whole. And again, because it was, culturally different, I'm not sure in that culture if everything that was said rang true to how that would go, how the hierarchy would go, where the father would expect a certain level of respect from his son, no matter what age he was, and the mother would be making suggestions on what to do, and and the father assuming that she was the one who went around and circumvented what he did by returning or exchanging the TV or whatever he did to get the money. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of culture that you were trying to put in there. So I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but I really liked it.
Cool. Thank you, Erica. And thanks, Robert Dang. Moving on now to our next script, which, as I said, will be the worst for sure. It's from our MVP of the day, Red
That's
Cups.
me!
Red Cups. And Brett will not be reading, so this should go really well. Script Chick is narrating. Script Chick, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, take it away.
Red Cups, written by Brett Martin. Logline: a shy couple have a meet-cute at a seemingly ordinary party. Fade-in: interior of frat house. Pulled shades and drawn curtains obscure the outside world. Dozens of people dance to a thumping bass line booming out of a stack of speakers in the cramped open space. Everyone's college-aged and dressed in polo shirts. They all hold a red plastic cup, the same cheap kind you see at every family cookout. The crowd's drinking hard and hollering loud, like they just won the biggest game of their lives. A muscled bro toasts a bunch of guys, probably teammates.
They told us we could never make it happen, but we didn't listen. No, we are the best of all time.
All the dudes down their drinks, crush their cups, and primal scream at each other, their teeth bared like wild animals. Absolutely everyone here seems to know each other, except for two ebony-skinned wallflowers standing in a corner. Seth and Melissa, 20s, look at each other with doe eyes and derpy smiles as they hold their full plastic cups.
You're new, right?
Yeah, I've only been on campus for a few weeks. How about you?
2 years next month. And it's all been leading up to tonight.
Wow, that's great. I wish I had found this place sooner.
I wish you had too. I like your short hair.
Melissa blushes, runs nervous fingers through her short but stylish haircut. She looks down at the cups, then up at Seth.
Thanks for noticing.
I remember it was really long the day you arrived for orientation.
I looked awful.
No, you just look scared.
I was really scared that day.
I know how you feel. When I first got here, I was out of my mind. I didn't know anybody on campus.
Me too.
They grin at each other for a while. A moon-faced, pudgy girl downs the contents of her cup, then gives Seth a big thumbs up. He smiles, points at her.
You go, girlfriend.
Is that your girlfriend?
What? What did you say?
Seth can't hear Melissa over the sing-song chanting of a nearby group standing in a circle holding hands. Empty cups piled at their feet as they all smile up at the ceiling.
Nothing.
She looks away from Seth, raises the red cup of liquid to her pursed lip.
Did you say girlfriend?
Melissa ponders her reply, then nods yes.
I've never had one. Ever. I never found anyone I could open up to.
Melissa aborts the sip, lowers her hand. She bites her lower lip, smiles at Seth.
Me neither. And I never really felt comfortable at parties.
Me too.
Until
I
I
got here.
They hold each other's ebony hands, stare into each other's doe eyes, ignoring the world around them and the red cups in their off hands.
Do you want to get some fresh air?
Yeah.
Both of them put down their untouched drinks. Seth leads Melissa across the crowded room. All around the love-struck couple, people drop to the floor, clutching their throats as their bodies writhe and convulse. More and more falling red plastic cups splash the hardwood floor with gallons of crimson Kool-Aid. Seth guides Melissa through the dying crowd, stepping over the dead bodies of some of the early partakers. They reach the front door. It's barricaded with furniture. He pulls away a chair. Melissa pushes a shelf out of the way. Exterior ranch home night. The red and blue lights of emergency and law enforcement vehicles illuminate the boarded-up residence. Seth opens the door, pokes his head out. A spotlight shines on him as he escorts Melissa out of the house.
Are you scared?
No, not anymore. You?
Seth shakes his head no. They smile, walk hand in hand towards the blinding white light, not a trace of fear in their wide, unblinking eyes. A grizzled man bellows.
This is the FBI. Halt, or we'll be forced to shoot.
A dozen unseen machine guns rack slide, ready to fire, but the happy couple just keeps walking. The sound of an approaching helicopter filled the air. Wind whips through Seth and Melissa's hair.
On your knees, hands above your heads, or we'll open fire.
Seth and Melissa comply. 2 SWAT team members push the happy couple's faces hard into the ground. They don't mind much at all. Both turn the other cheek, smile at each other as they hold hands. Their derpy faces rest on the lush green grass. Their entwined digits are pulled apart. The cops cuff them, hands behind their backs. Seth and Melissa never break eye contact with each other as they're dragged towards a paddy wagon. Behind them, a half-dozen SWAT guys decked out in heavy tactical gear storm into the house, their semi-automatic assault rifles poised to fire. They bark threats to the dead. Paddy wagon, and a uniformed cop opens up the rear entry double doors of the heavily armored prisoner transport. Seth and Melissa are shoved in the back, seated across each other in the holding area on benches.
I'm Seth.
I'm Melissa.
They look into each other's eyes, slowly lean forward, eager lips just inches apart, poised for a kiss, as the metal double doors clink shut on the young couple. Fade to black.
Sorry, I totally coughed in the microphone. That was great.
Great job, guys. Thank you so much.
Sucked. That sucked. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Brett Martin, for submitting your script. And let's go to Erica now. What were your thoughts on the script?
Kool-Aid is so racist. Oh my God, let's talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. Only black people drink Kool-Aid. So that was my only thought. No, I really liked it. It's one of those, where you don't know what's going on, I guess, till the end. There is some hints in their dialogue that whatever is happening there, it seems a bit communal. Until we got here and stuff like that, you get the sense that it's not your regular everyday party. But I guess until the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor, you realize that something's going on, and you kind of get it. What I would have liked, because I'm just a dark writer in general, I expected when the 2 of them walked out of the house that they were going to get riddled with bullets. Honestly, when they kept walking, I was waiting for the moment when their asses were dead. So that was my only disappointment, is because it kind of was. I mean, except for the fact that they got arrested and put in the back of a paddy wagon. What's the worst that's going to happen to them? They may end up in some 72-hour holding pattern in some psych ward to make sure they're okay, and then whatever. And it's a bit of a happy ending for me. And I would have preferred that they didn't die of poison, but instead they got shot up out in the front lawn. So either way, no one survived. But otherwise, I really liked it.
You are so dark.
She is very dark, and not just because she's black. Moving on now to Gracie. And you did a great job, Gracie. I thought that was really cute. What were your thoughts on the script?
Thank you. I would say, first of all, thanks, Brett. Second of all, what happened? Like, what happened? It went from like, oh, it's sweet, it's cute, 2 awkward kids at a party, to everyone is dead and now they're getting arrested. Like, what? Yeah, I actually really liked it, even though it was short. It took me on a roller coaster of emotions just right there, and I really enjoyed it. The only thing I would say is that I kind of wish it was a little bit clearer as to what happened, because I actually have no idea.
Oh, Gracie, really it was like a suicide cult. I mean, yeah, Brett, correct me if I'm wrong, but they were all deciding to, kill themselves together, and they were drinking this Kool-Aid, which poisoned them. But because Melissa and Seth met and kind of liked each other, they didn't drink it, and they decided to go outside and see what happens next. Brett,
see, for some reason, that makes sense. For some reason, in my head, they had like poisoned all the drinks so that everyone was partying, and then they died, and then they were going to join them, but they were like, actually, no, we're 2 killers in love. Let's go walk into the sunset over all these dead bodies.
I mean, I suppose it could be that way.
That's funny, but you're not the first person to go there.
It's just that there was a smiling as the FBI were just like pulling them down. So I thought, oh, maybe they had killed them all. But yeah, no, that makes sense. But other than that, I thought it was like a really cute story, and it made me laugh.
Thanks. No, Smish was spot on about the inspiration. The whole inspiration for this was I really thought it would be hilarious if you had a meet cute at a suicide cult party. You know, the absolute last minute before you're going to go out, you actually find the person of your dreams. But I love your dark interpretation too, and you're not the first person to go there. Very cool.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, moving on now to Jukebox. What were your thoughts on the script?
Absolutely terrible script. My eyes are bleeding right now from looking at all the really bad stuff. I almost want to go to a suicide cult. No, it was a great script. It was very atypical for people to just meet to kind of do like a Tinder date at a suicide cult. It was fun. It did go almost like 0 to 100 with the people just dropping on the floor. But I enjoyed it. It was great. It's one of those kinds of things where you read and or watch it and you're like, wait, did they just, oh my God, they just, whoa. And then it's a fun ride. Thanks. Yeah.
One of the things I like about the script is that, you know, it's got a really good twist and it's nice and short. And it's like basically one location with the interior and the exterior. So it would be really low budget to shoot. So I was joking, obviously, about this being crap. I think it's a really good example of a good short film, to be honest. Script Chick, what do you think?
Yeah, I remember this one. I want to see Anna Kendrick in the background as part of the cult doing her red cup little bit before she chokes on it. That's my own personal casting preference. But great job, Brett. Let me see. Oh, okay. So I just had a thought, like how, you know, we were reading the night script and it takes a while before we get to the reveal there. And here it's like the exact opposite, where it's like very, not that much lead up before it's like, oh, damn. And then the end. I'm just wondering here, I think I would like to see more, like once the reveal is that this is a cult and people are dying around them, that then the threat still remains. It's like, do they join them? I think you can still milk that moment, because then your end is very quick after that. And I think there's still a choice between these two people of if they go that way or not. And I think it would get more into their relationship, you know, and kind of explore the meet cute a little bit more, because I like them as a couple. They're really cute. I do think too, you can end sooner. I just think like we've pretty much gotten the most out of it when they're thrown to the ground and, you know, they say the names there versus having kind of a prolonged ending of being put into this paddy wagon. So just because it's like we've mostly seen everything at this point. My other note is that if it's jarring to people suddenly this coming in, I think what Gracie was saying, what about the threat of the police as you hear thumping on the walls? Like you do mention a thumping. I don't know if that's already your intent or if that's literally just the music, but if there's thumping from the police on the door, I mean, we could easily, since it's a party, just think it's a noise complaint and not an actual, what it is bigger is like the FBI and all that. And even the police lights. So I think that's an idea for if you want to kind of hint at something and then, you know, you obviously take it in a completely different direction. So great job. Thank you.
Yay. Thanks, Brett.
Thank you guys for doing a great job. And this is actually a sister script to another one that you guys read that was another awkward meet cute about a sexual offender. And funny thing is, that script that you guys read for me, director's in negotiation to produce it right now, and he wants to develop it in a feature. So thank you for the help, guys.
What?
Awesome.
Yay, congrats.
That's so crazy. Yeah, congratulations.
I demand payment for the, I mean,
yeah, you weren't even there. You ain't getting paid, girl.
That's what counts.
Yeah, it reminded
Girlfriend,
me.
I ain't even getting any points. So if I ain't getting any points, none of you are. But I love you all anyway.
Yeah, well, it's hard to make money on short films, but
Hell
I
yeah.
hope that it does well. You know, I could see it doing well in film festivals and stuff, and hopefully, yeah, if you can make a feature out of it, even better. So that was our last script, you guys. Thank you so much for making yourselves available today on a Saturday. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, we are going to be taking a hiatus for 1 to 2 weeks while I'm traveling, and then we will be back. In the meantime, we've got Monday Table Reads at 2 p.m. Pacific if you want to have about 10 pages or so read of a script, but not broadcast on Twitch. Post in the Monday Table Reads channel on our Discord group, and I will post the link to our Discord on Twitch right now. But that's it for our show today. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Happy Mother's Day.